The book that most people try to debunk is the Bible, and they all failed.
I may introduce you to Andre Cole. He was a great magician, creating tricks for the greatest magicians in the world. For David Copperfield, he made the Statue of Liberty disappear. He was commissioned to study the miracles of the Bible to expose them as magic tricks and to disprove its legitimacy. During Cole's investigations, he became a Christian and has since dedicated himself to spreading the gospel via the art of magic, performing in more countries than any other magician in history.
When I started in magic, I used to practice 10 to 12 hours a day, and I remember my fingers would be aching and covered with blisters just from the manipulation of the cards, coins, and other objects that I would use. So I became a world-famous magician, and so using magic, I've had the opportunity to share Christ with millions of people. We usually see an average of over 100 decisions a night, sometimes as much as 1,000 a week, doing 10, 20, sometimes 30 shows a month. And since that time, there's never been a single one where there has not been decisions for Christ.
In recent years, a number of scientists have started talking about the possibility of molecular displacement. There are those who believe it'd be possible to take two objects, to arrange the molecules of those two objects in such a way that theoretically it would be possible for one of those objects to pass through the other object without either of the objects being physically disturbed. So far, there's been very little success in making that a demonstrable fact. However, that is the subject of the experiment tonight. An experiment in dematerialization bordering on the supernatural. What you've seen up to this point has been difficult. What you're going to see now is impossible.
Is what a sinful man tries to do for a holy God. Christianity is exactly the opposite of religion. It's what a holy God has done for sinful man.
This is Robert Ingersoll. He once boasted, "Within 15 years, I'll have the Bible lodged in a morgue." Ingersoll is dead, and the Bible is alive. Sir William Ramsay. He discovered krypton and neon. Ramsay was a renowned archaeologist. He was knighted by the British Crown for his work in archaeology. Ramsay was raised as a biblical non-believer. He called the Bible a book of fables and was determined to undermine the historical accuracy. When Ramsay began archaeological and historical research in Asia Minor, beginning in 1881, he expected and hoped to find more evidence against the Bible. Instead, he discovered fact after fact that supported the Bible. His discoveries led to his conversion to Christianity. Josh McDowell. In college, he was set out to write a paper to expose Christianity as a myth, but ended up being so convinced that he became a Christian himself and wrote the influential book, Evidence That Demands a Verdict. He is the author or co-author of over 150 books.
Skepticism. It's doubt, even in the presence of evidence. Some people are skeptical about aliens, Bigfoot, ghosts, miracles, even God. When I was a kid, I grew increasingly skeptical that a loving God existed. He certainly didn't seem to care that I was being sexually abused. So I told myself that God was a fairy tale. And so was Jesus and the Bible, and all that was fairy tale. I made fun of Christians. I called them terrible names. Then in college, I became one of them. Because once I did the work of actually validating my skepticism, I had to admit there is so much evidence that confirms the factual accuracy of the Bible, and plenty of historical evidence that Jesus lived, died, and miraculously resurrected. Friend, what are you skeptical about? I think every person should have a healthy dose of skepticism, or we'd fall for everything. But it's intellectually lazy to have an opinion about topics we haven't researched.
In AD 303, the Roman Empire Diocletian issued an edict to stop Christians from worshiping Jesus Christ and to destroy their scriptures. Every official in the empire was ordered to raze the churches to the ground and burn every Bible found in their districts. 25 years later, Diocletian's successor Constantine issued another edict ordering 50 Bibles to be published at government expense. No matter the century, the Bible will never be debunked.